So what y'all can see before y'all, well, wait a minute. Let me do my manners. It's been a while before I called y'all Cosmos, but what up, Cosmos? Ladies and gents. And what y'all see before y'all, I'm pretty sure if y'all, if you're a wrestling fan, you can recognize some of the moments. Yeah, some of these moments, also right here, I just wanted to point it out too. Some of these moments, you'll most likely recognize, and it's been and etched, not only in wrestling history, but yes, I mean SummerSlam has a bit of a history when it comes to SummerSlam WWE, and it has a bit of a history when it comes to its own and in professional wrestling. I like and it's like it was one of the very first things I saw when I became a wrestling fan. It's one of the very first things I saw, and it happens to be Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. When that whole, if some of you I know you could be very young, but if you really like Shawn Michaels too, fan, and you basically a hardcore, you definitely know that Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, when they was embroiled back in the late '90s with their rivalry, and the whole thing with Shawn Michaels hitting over, he tried to hit Bret Hart, but overall smashing the Undertaker in the back in a splat in the middle of the forehead, bloody, and that was the whole thing that started off. Basically, one of the things too that started off that was treading down into the Attitude Era. But it's just one of those moments, of course. And then you have Triple H. Because you also pay attention to this, but I want you to pay attention to the two people that's on that thumbnail that I just made. To pay attention to those two people that's on the thumbnail. And you look at it too. Not only do they also run a business today, but just look at how them individually themselves, Shawn and Triple H, how they just not only in their careers, but as a whole too, where they just created moments that will live on forever. Probably got some other moments too, of course, Brock Lesnar winning the Undisputed Champion at just beating The Rock and becoming basically the new kid on the block, the next, the biggest, the basically at that point in time was touted as the next face of the WWE. Also, another moment too. I mean, there's plenty of moments, but also you also go back to another moment between Shawn Michaels and Triple H with the unsanctioned, the non-sanctioned, and them just beating the holy hell out of each other, from JR's words too. And it was that shit like that was just amazing. And we also too, got Randy Orton becoming the also, I think he beat Brock Lesnar's young streak, becoming another young man to be world heavyweight champion. And I mean, there's just so many moments in history that you can look back, not only just SummerSlam, but as the WWE as a whole. But this is SummerSlam, and I'm talking about specific moments that we definitely need to pay attention to. And what do they all have in common? They begged your interest. They were very, very entertaining. They were unpredictable. These were guys that were just coming up in the business, and as they were coming up, as the business, they were adding to flourishing the WWE as and professional wrestling as a whole. And I know the reason where people like to put WWE and professional wrestling as a whole, not because not only that WWE basically holds also one half or the ladder of 30 years or 60 years, But because WWE was for the longest time, I mean, it's the only conglomerate on the block. I mean, it's the only place where basically, I mean, it's not like there's no every other thing that's known, and because the mainstream, they want entertainment. That's the key word, entertainment, and that's the reason why other wrestling industries aren't known companies is because they don't have any entertainment. They like to think they're they like to think to themselves as a sport, which I mean their prerogative, but when you're on national TV, we're talking about entertainment. And like I said, as these guys were also not only themselves climbing up the ladder for them individually, but the business was also flourishing. WWE was coming up, was becoming, just an empire. SummerSlam, and that's why I say in that title, I miss the real SummerSlam because you had moments that we will never be able to forget. I mean, even John Cena and Daniel Bryan and John Cena, Daniel Bryan coming up as the ultimate babyface and finally capitalizing, all hell's odds. Even though it happened at Money Bank, even though it happened at the Money in the Bank, even CM Punk. I mean, CM Punk also had a moment of still, he was facing John Cena, coming off the Money in the Bank win, and he just, I think that, well. Yeah, I think he didn't really. I don't think he won that year, but I think Kevin Nash and everything like that. But you still get the point though, where you have moments that you could talk about, and you look back. SummerSlam, like I said, SummerSlam had its own plethora moments in history that you can look back, where it was just, I mean, it showed you why it's the biggest event of the summer, and you had your favorites that were going out there and showing you where they are. I mean, and just eras that bled, that were just the best time to be a professional wrestling fan. I can't say that today. It's the truth. I mean, it was those were what you would talk. Like I said again, like the 2000s or the 90s, even the 80s. I mean, times where a wrestling fan, it was a time to be alive. And I do have things where like I told you, I have wrestlers today, like of course like a Jey Uso, like a Gunther, like even who else? There's other people, but like there's other wrestlers that I consider today where I have favorites as wrestlers too. I even starting to like Liv Morgan because she's actually finding a craft in which she excels in, and she's the reason. I mean, and she, if not the only thing that right now that's the hottest thing that's going on right now on WWE TV. Liv Morgan is killing it. I mean. And it's just classic sexual appeal. There's people that may not like to hear that, but I mean, it's the truth. The numbers don't lie. And I said, and when you look at today, it's just like today's SummerSlam. Like I said, in today's landscape, not leading up to SummerSlam, where like how can I can't really say anything about it because it's just everything is just like I said, aside from, which in my opinion, aside from Liv Morgan and a couple of course Drew McIntyre with CM Punk and a couple of other things, storylines and angles and characters that may be going on, I could have brought AEW in this video. I could have made a whole thing talking about, or a video in the future, which I plan to do also. But I mean, people already do that on a daily basis. You have a person is even like they go out of their way to just completely emasculate and put AEW through a blender on their channel. So I feel like other people, and other people are known for it. So like I don't know, I feel like I'd just be another voice in a vortex is just completely just annihilating AEW. So I feel like, I feel like, let me put my attention towards WWE. And I just see posts to where just how, Triple H is the greatest booker of all time. Triple H is doing this, he's doing that. It's been 2 years. How is Triple H doing as the booker of the WWE? I'll exactly tell y'all exactly. Well, let's see how Triple H has been doing as booker as the WWE. Okay, let's see how Triple H has been doing. The ratings, oh wow, yeah, they're supposed to be as hot as ever, right? The ratings are they have not improved. They have not gone. They've not gone up at all. They've been stuck the way they have been stuck for the last 4 years. Even as Vince got retired and stepped down, and Triple H was put in that role. And there's been matches. Of course, he's the Tony Khan of WWE. Of course, there's been matches with no fucking logic in between. Match after match after match after match. Tournaments too, because that's a favorite booker. That's a favorite thing to do as a booker. You want to be fucking lazy. You don't want to have any type of. You don't want to, improvise as far as like show the audience what you can be capable of. Hey, put a tournament in. That's the most laziest fucking thing ever, right? And there's. You have wrestlers to where they don't, you don't, also angles too. Remember that? Remember Randy Orton just straight up, he just almost murdered every legend. Remember that? Remember when, Triple H himself, or as bad as you had it, but remember when he was in Evolution and they were just straight up, just like, felt like rock stars, and they were running ruckshot over the whole WWE. Remember that? yeah. Even back then, like when it comes to the Shield, remember when they were just completely catapulted to the top and became everybody's favorite group. Remember that? Remember when guys like Eddie Guerrero, I said, even though the original cats that started that type of wrestling, and they could actually wrestle. They weren't actually doing spots for the sake of doing spots. Guys like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit and Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, remember guys like that. They were doing. Remember when where you didn't see that on a daily basis, what they were able to do, where they were just performing moves you've never seen or heard of, and you weren't seeing it every other fucking week. Remember that, guys? Remember that shit? It's just I can go down the list of what we had. There were just a lot of variety and versatility, and I don't see that. I don't see that. I find myself looking and thinking to myself, even having a channel dedicated to this, why do I feel a sense of where I'm looking to where it's what are we doing anything to make a lick, or what are we doing? What are we really doing? Why aren't we doing anything to give wrestling fans a reason to be a wrestling fan? Wrestling does not make that, it's not the end all or be all. I see the same shit. It's going to continue tonight, this week. I see the same shit week in and week out. And it's like how I don't know if I'm not, well, I know I'm not the only one, but why are people even excited for SummerSlam? Why? It's just you've been subjugated to the same shit for the last 4 years. It's been the same thing. And I do what I want to bring up, because fellow, that he's he had a Because that does make sense too. Like when you get to the 80s, like you know how of course the golden era, the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, the Snake, Jimmy the Snake Roberts, like of course a lot of other guys, where it's just goes to that. It's will y'all ever sit back and look at let's say, or it can be any other thing, but just let's think about wrestling for a moment. You ever sit back and you just look at the periods, and it's just like you go to the golden era, and then you switch to the new generation era, and then you switch to the attitude era, and then you switch to the ruthless aggression era, and then you switch to even the PG era. You notice the difference, right? Y'all notice the difference? Specifically like the golden era and the attitude era. Complete different, distinct, and everything. The logos, the characters, the wrestlers, the music. I mean, like, everything is different. Like, it's just a distinct. When you get to the 2020s, it's the same shit. For the past 4 years, it's the same shit. For the past 4 years, there is nothing different. Everybody looks the fucking same. The shows look the fucking same. Like the music, even the music, it's just it's fucking techno, trash, pop, mumble rap. It's all the fucking same. There's nothing distinctive about it. And that's another thing. I just don't understand how people can just move along and accept mediocrity, but because you know why? Like even the other Pacific area, when you talk about entertainment, other people in their generations, they like to mull over the fact that, and I like to say that we also had. It wasn't like we had also issues too. Yeah, you also had Mae Young and the pregnant hand and the attitude. Yes, shit like that. Or the Asians dude running around trying to chop off Val Venus' dick. Like, you had shit like that in the ad. Or yeah, Triple H in the racist shit in the ruthless aggression era, Booker T, or the Katie Vick storyline. Yes, you had shit like that going on in the ruthless aggression and the attitude era. We get it. We also had shit too. You also had really weird bad shit too back then. But the reason why also that you also learned of the fact that you had the good shit that weighed out the bad shit. You can't say the same about today. Because there's no creativity. It's all fucking terrible. It's all bad. There is no there is no renaissance. There is none of that shit. The WWE isn't back. It's all fucking crap. And I haven't seen one interview from either of course AEW, because Tony Khan. I just need to mention his name. Oh, there you go. It's Tony Khan. But Triple H, I want to expect more. Not only the fact that a man that has been versatile and creative when it comes to his wrestling career, but I would think that you would know, especially coming from a guy that's all about character, that's all about entertainment, that's all about moving the audience. You would think that, but no. He's just the WWE version, another character of Tony Khan, and we're in this headspace that wants to put this indie crap shit on a big scale on the big TV. And I'm sick of that shit. And I apologize if my may sound a certain way, because my mouth is getting dry by the minute. That's really how fucking hot it is. But yeah, how am I supposed to be excited for SummerSlam when there's no innovation, there's no excitement, nothing is fucking happening outside of the fact to be a couple of things? That's not how it works. That's not how it goes down. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm the wrong one though. I mean, I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like as people say half the time, or I need a script, or I need to know how to shut the fuck up, and all these other things. Because people they're comfortable with the mediocre shit, or of course the 9 to 5 that they're at for the rest of their fucking miserable cherry take lives. They're comfortable with that. Y'all comfortable with that. Y'all comfortable with receiving less until the day you die. But hey, I mean, stay blessed, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. I mean, your weekend. And yeah, blessings to you all.